Coming to you from the Loading Ready Run orbiting underground moon base, it's the LRRcast! With very special guests, everyone here! Yay! So hi, we're here today. I am Graham Stark, obviously. With me, I have James Turner.
Hi, derp.
Kathleen DeVere.
Hello.
And Paul Saunders.
Hi.
And today we're going to be talking about what giant, awesome people we are.
Oh,
Yeah.
is this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the greatest.
I can't.
This isn't gonna work, Joe.
Yeah, no.
It's not
I
gonna-
can't be sarcastic about Kathleen because
No.
I'll feel really bad.
No,
Yeah,
no.
James is right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. It's a little awkward. Oh
Ooh.
God,
Hi,
Ah.
James.
a ghost.
Why? Okay, so why are we here?
Why are we here?
I don't know.
I was told to show up.
Oh,
and you told me you'd tell me when you pulled me out of the trunk.
Is
Right.
the door locked?
Sorry.
Did they lock us in here?
I think so.
The best I've heard is that Graham and Paul aren't in town.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Who?
So they left
They pay
us.
your salary.
So they left
Oh.
us chained to this desk, and there's a key inside each of us.
Yeah.
That unlocks the others.
Shall
Yeah,
we play a
sh-
game?
I don't want to play a game, Jer.
So they're at the Escapist Expo right now.
In Durham?
North Carolina. Durham, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Durham?
North Carolina. I know it's North Carolina. It could be
Yeah.
anywhere.
In my top 5 places named after kinds of wheat.
I never
Durham
thought
is the
about
first?
that.
I don't know.
There's
Third,
a
fourth.
Triticale, Ohio. I got that one before the rest of you did.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Don't look at me like that.
And so, yeah, it seemed like an ample opportunity to overthrow the remaining members of Loading Ready Run.
Glorious B unit represent.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. What are we technically on? What do they call us on the wiki? Supporting players.
Supporting players.
Yeah.
Chum.
Yeah.
Addi-
Extras.
background elements. Props with legs.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the one that I learned when I was in musical theater.
I prefer flying buttresses.
Flying.
They're very
Ooh,
supportive.
That's a good one. You just imagine them sticking, twerking, just like against
With
the
wings.
Yeah.
chapel.
Right.
I think we have some questions that we're supposed to be answering.
Or
Well,
we-
I
we're
think
supposed
we
to talk
were
about
also
Friday
talking
nights?
videos.
Yeah.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
about Friday nights?
we were in a Friday night.
We
I-
were in
we
a
were in
Friday
several-
night.
I'm never
Friday
allowed
nights.
to be in a Friday night
Why
because
not?
I don't play any Magic at all, so it would just ruin the entire video.
Well, according to YouTube, neither do we.
Yeah.
Don't read the comments, Cam.
They're right there.
Oh,
yeah,
Jesus.
I know. It hurts so good.
Why does sort auras next to creatures and sorcery?
Pardon?
That's
if
right.
Pally so power, why ally lose?
So,
What
yeah.
was your most
but
recent Friday nights?
The most recent one was the Theros one.
Yeah.
And
Theros?
Theros.
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 I always say Theros.
Because it's like
Theros?
heroes with a T.
Yeah.
I just
I don't-
got that.
All the okay. Interesting story. I heard at the VIP party when they showed us the video at the PAX VIP party, the Heliod narrated video, and it at the end of it, how it zooms in on Theros, and it comes in kind of letter by letter, and Heroes appears first before the T, and I looked at it and went, "Oh, I just got that," and the Wizards employee staying next to me, was like, "Yeah, we didn't get that right away either."
Oh.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Not intentional?
Not intentional.
Whoa.
I think what happened was they probably just came up with something that sounded pseudo-Greek,
Yeah.
and it stopped becoming a thing that you really critically look at almost instantly.
Right, because
It just becomes like a brain unit.
And then the
Right.
branding team saw it and were like, they're geniuses.
yes, we are.
Totally meant to do that.
It's like how
Yeah.
if you say a word enough times, it loses all meaning
Yeah.
Like mattress.
or anything.
I don't know what either of those words mean anymore.
Oh no.
Mattress has always been my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, yeah, but you were around to film that Friday night.
Well, yeah, I get to be on the boom because
Yeah.
then I don't have to do anything. Because the idea is that everybody's in the shot, and so that basically left me on boom, so I could be outfitted the entire day, and then everyone was just trading off camera depending on who was on.
Yeah, we made
I-
the mistake
shot.
of assuming that YJ was going to be empty in the middle of the day because it was the pre-release and everybody would be elsewhere, but Yeah, it was busy.
I think you're thinking of a different one.
That was
Am
that was one of the Heroes
yeah,
Path
that was the
ones.
Heroes
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes,
Yeah.
I was mistaken.
so
that
many
didn't happen.
videos. Yeah, no, for this particular one, the Theros one.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I just sorted cards all
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
That was a good montage. Oh, and just for trivia for those of you who care, because everybody was at the table cracking packs and opening stuff, and Graham was trying to get as much montage shots as he could while everyone is busy opening packs and sorting cards and being like, oh, check this shit out. Graham needed a shot of the pizza boxes, so that's my hand that dips into scene and yanks at a piece of pizza because everyone else was busy.
We ate a lot of that pizza before we remembered we had to film it.
Yeah, we got about halfway through it, and we're
We're
like,
like,
oh,
oh,
we
yeah.
better get in on that. Yeah.
Stunt pizza.
Yeah, we hit the pizza like a wood chipper.
Yeah.
It was just gone.
Actually, those boxes of Theros we opened in order to film that
Muy
were
picante?
they were pretty spicy.
Yeah.
Uh,
Foil Erebos.
Foil Erebos,
Foil
the 2 foil planeswalkers, the mill guy and the
Ashiok.
Ashiok and the green red guy whose name I also forget.
Xenagos.
Xenagos. Both of those foil. There
a bunch
were
of other it was very mythic heavy and just good rare
and
heavy.
like
Yeah,
a
you
lot of
opened,
like
like-
Chain to the Rocks and like other sort of just very utility cards.
My understanding is you opened up 4 of the main guys in those packs. It was like, oh yeah, we found 4 of the whoever the heroes are.
The
The gods. We
The
got
gods,
4 of the
yeah.
5 gods.
Yeah.
One of which was foil. If you include the stuff that you guys opened for Heroes Path the week before, there was also an Elspeth. Like it was, there were a lot of very good cards.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was quite shocked at the quality of cards that we opened.
Turns out there are perks for working with wizards.
Yeah.
So yeah, that episode was pretty. It wasn't exactly a bottle episode because we
What's
did.
a bottle episode?
It happens in one place.
It happens
Yeah.
in one place. Like
Like in a bottle, right? Ship in a bottle?
How did I not know that before?
yeah. Like you have those episodes. Like okay, I'm thinking of like How I Met Your Mother. I don't know if you guys have seen that show.
Have you met my mom?
Well, I have actually, Alex. She drew a comic book and yeah,
Your mom draws comic books?
Yep.
That's awesome.
I think
graphic novels.
Oh,
I-
I'm sorry.
I think everybody in my family draws comics except Raymond, but he's working on it actually.
He just gave in to the family
He
business.
just caved. It's like, fine, I'll draw some stuff.
Anyway, there was an episode of that show. Tally and I were watching it on Netflix, and then she has continued watching it after I lost interest. But that took place entirely in a car, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, they probably just filmed this entire episode in a car to save money for future episodes. That's
Right.
not why this was entirely shot at the office. But
No.
No, I think it was mostly just because it made sense to have, if you're going to have everybody in one place, you wouldn't want to have people leaving and coming back and leaving and coming back. You want to feel like everyone just hunkered down and did this for the day.
yeah,
Yeah, well, it was supposed to be kind of like a release party.
yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean, it did have that bit that you guys filmed outside.
Yeah.
Or I felt bad
Oh
for you.
man, that was the worst.
Yeah.
It kept raining and raining and
Yeah. A
raining.
3-day storm.
The first shot we grabbed with Graham, because it let up for a bit and then it just started pouring.
Yeah.
We're like, we have got to do the rest of this later and pray that there's going to be light left. And luckily there was. I don't know how much the rain showed up on camera, but it was just coming down.
You can definitely hear it. Like the moon base has skylights, right? So we could actually keep tabs on the weather sort of just by listening. But yeah, it was sort of a waiting game where it was like, okay, well, if it even lightens up for a little bit, then we can get that done.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Does-
Sweet bow, by the way.
Yeah, does anyone know
yeah.
who gave that to us?
Oh, what was
Oh.
his name?
James knows.
We need to drop that.
We need to name drop
He had a really cool name.
Todd? I hope that's right.
Yeah, it was definitely a Todd.
Person James refers to as Todd, whose name may or may not be,
I-
in fact,
I
Todd.
want to say Todd Rancor.
Generously loaned us his Olympic recurve bow,
Yeah.
which is quite a thing to hold.
Yeah.
It's like, this feels very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have
Although
to
it's
get that
the
back.
wrong hand for me, so
Right, it's a
Yeah.
right-handed bow and you're
I
left-handed.
guess so because it's made for your left
'Cause
hand to
di-
draw right.
Mm.
Yeah, you use your dominant hand to draw with.
I think so.
Yeah, because you can just lock. I think it's so that you can lock your
Never
elbow in
shot a
place
bow,
on your,
so-
on your lesser arm because you want to use all the strength in your dominant hand to
Right.
pull back.
Well, you're supposed to draw with your chest and back, right?
Really?
I think.
I'm not sure. I've played a lot of Dungeons and Dragons, but I know very little about how to actually.
Yeah, this is
fire
how
a
you
bow.
draw in Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was exciting, though. I mean, it was really cool to see that. I didn't get a chance to hold it, but it's downstairs still. We better give that back to him soon.
Yeah. I once played an Elfin Gauntlet, so I know a lot about it. Right.
Fair. I've heard that Tomb Raider game is good. There's a bow in that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was totally watching the bow during Tomb Raider.
yeah, I would.
Oh, Nerf is making bows now for girls.
Wait, oh yeah.
Yeah.
I heard about that. That's
Just throwing that out there.
They had
Weird.
that when we were kids. Like Nerf bow and arrow.
Yeah.
Or is
I
this-
do you remember that ad? That
Nerf
jingle is
bow and arrow.
enemies coming, got
arrows
them in your sights.
Yeah.
Man,
we're singing different verses, but we
A
both.
portion of my brain is dedicated to remembering that
Wow.
until I die.
Anyways, I think we broke, important new ground by casting a First Nations actor with a bow and arrow.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Hey, you know what? We got nothing to be ashamed of. We didn't write the friggin' script.
It's true. We didn't write this. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Questions it is.
Yeah. Do
uh,
we have some questions. Is there anything else that
Anything
we
else
need
to
to
talk
cover
about?
for?
I don't know. Friday nights is always cool. I actually do sort cards, though maybe not to that extent. But
No,
that's
like-
what I did all day. I had a few lines and I sorted a bunch of cards.
Yeah, the original set, like those actual cards were sorted primarily by Jer. I think I helped a little.
Yeah, you and Paul each helped a little bit. But
They're
yeah.
not all really mixed together. Like everyone still has their own
No, no,
collection
no, no,
separate.
no.
Everyone's own collections are separate, though I actually have offloaded much of my collection, much of it just by giving cards away
Okay.
Yeah.
recently, just because Magic cards take over your life.
Yeah,
True.
I'm probably just going to put mine up on Used Victoria and go down to a binder.
It's an interesting thing. Like I have all the cards that I really care about,
Okay.
but you do acquire a large volume of Magic cards after playing.
Yeah,
for
like a
while.
lot of that is just draft chaff from the office.
Yeah.
And then a collection we acquired years ago that was also draft chaff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is the
So-
idea then that it's just like I ended up with like dozens and dozens of the same card, like all these
Yeah.
commons
Yeah.
and stuff, and I can't use them because they're not in standard. Is that
Right,
A thing?
Or they're just not very good.
Oh, I
Yeah,
see.
even if they are in standard, they're not really playable because there's like other cards that do better things, or the thing that they do is just not useful. So
So it's like they would have had some utility in a draft when they came out, and now not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they were your 23rd, 24th card, right?
Okay.
So yeah, those cards, a lot of those things that existed in my house and ate up space on my shelves are now given away to teenagers and stuff. Not even teenagers, grade schoolers
Just building new decks.
who
and-
will enjoy them and get
Yep.
fun out of them. So
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, you can usually ship like a couple thousand cards for $20
Yeah, that's
on
also
Used
true.
Victoria.
Wow.
Okay, let's go into some questions that I assume this first one is Magic card related.
I hope so, because it says, "What color are you and why?"
It's from Thomas. I don't play Magic, so I guess I have to go with colorless.
You can be colorless.
I guess I could be
The
colorless.
Eldrazi, which are like giant Chthonian creatures, are
pretty good one.
colorless.
I thought this was actually going to be one of those like personality questions where it's like, are you a blue
Ooh.
personality or green personality? Like, I don't know. I like the color green.
Yeah, blue. Do you
It's not
like
easy
saying
being
no
green.
to everything your friends do? Definitely red. I think my favorite Highlander deck right now, and the one that shows up in a lot of episodes of the show, is my Goblin deck, which I got most of the list from someone who plays it, YJ. It's so much fun. I like mono red, and I like goblins because it's mono red that doesn't fold immediately. So.
I like blue, but I don't know. I've been moving more towards red as well because I find it's just more interactive and more aggressive, and it just, I don't know. It feels a lot more fun to play than sitting back and eventually just getting in with some ridiculous monster that you resolve on turn 14, right?
I find that blue's like a really good support color
Yeah.
and not a great primary color.
Well,
I mean,
like-
of course, that depends on the format, but
Yeah, like playing with my blue-red deck, I found that it was mainly actually just a slightly slower red deck wins with a bit of blue support for like card draw and filtering.
Yeah, and then you get like the crossed over cards are really good. Like blue red has a lot of great cards historically.
Yeah, but like Nivik Cyclops is essentially an aggro card.
Yeah,
right?
he's a reddish card.
Yeah.
Jared, what color are you?
I don't even know.
All
Magic
right.
cards are hard. I've always been like, maybe I like white. I think I kind of like white, but it varies for me at different times. I always find that I end up playing blue, like for whatever reason. I'm like, oh, okay, this and this. Oh, I would really like to do. I guess I'm playing blue now. So I feel like I'm always drawn towards blue, but I guess white, blue, and red the most.
There's one for me.
Nice.
So Crap Shots is being funded.
Yeah.
Since the first Crap Shot goal is met, what is my favorite season 1 video? My least favorite. Sneak peek for season 2? A favorite video for season 1. There's like a lot of them, and like a bunch that I like. I think my favorite is probably, I don't remember the name of it, but it's the one where I have the invisibility cloak because I've wanted to do that effect forever. And it was just a great little gag. It's like you have a cloak that makes you invisible from the outside, but it's not big enough to make all of you invisible, and you can't see out of it.
That's the one I show to people, I think, most often. Just
It's
'cause
really good.
It's a cute little effect
like it.
video, and it is very nice and self-contained.
Yeah, it's good. The worst video? I don't know. So like,
Maybe the one you would do over if you could.
yeah, like some of them I could probably improve. I'm trying to think of like what was the least funny one. I'd have to watch them again because like nothing's really jumping out at me as being like embarrassingly terrible. But I'm sure there's one that's like less good. Whatever the one with the fewest views is probably.
Yeah, we'll let YouTube decide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As for a sneak peek, possibly.
Don't do it. Don't give away the jokes too early.
Maybe we'll just no. The sneak peek will be a 1-second clip in the middle of a video. Just I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah. Just do the event horizon. Yeah.
That's no, but like 30 seconds of titles and then
Yeah.
and then like a date.
Film the entire season of Crap Shots, and then make the preview one frame of each episode.
It's a lot of videos.
Okay, actually, then how many ideas do you have written down for season 2 so far?
That would be spoilers.
You don't want to let everybody in on that?
I started up a document recently. I've been taking notes actually for a while, and so I'm putting those down now. So we've got a couple dozen, or maybe a dozen.
I've
at
got
this point.
I had a few written that I thought we could use in like a rapid fire or
Please-
something, but I'm like,
please
you know
put
what?
them down.
This works better as Crap Shots, so I'm glad the goal got met.
Mm-hmm.
What are you most looking forward to with the Kickstarter being funded?
I'm really looking forward to the streaming.
Actually, yeah, like I'm pretty stoked about that.
Yeah. Alex and I have plans for that.
We have a bunch of plans. Like
So-
there's lots of shows we can do, and because like we can mix it up throughout the year.
Yeah.
You know-
Well, do you want to talk about that a bit?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. I used to do this thing on Twitter where I just watch a movie and tweet about it a lot.
And I enjoy talking about movies in a similar way. So we're like, we should do that together on a thing
yeah.
and find a way to share it with people without actually broadcasting the movie.
Yeah.
Which is,
So we're thinking of just doing kind of like a riff track style synced audio
yeah,
file.
it's like a commentary / sort of making fun of it. It's not so much the like straight up parody.
No,
or
no,
just
no,
like
no.
poking fun of it, but like we really like movies.
Yeah.
And it's fun to talk about movies that we really like and movies that are garbage
Yeah.
or could have been good but
Yeah.
turned out terrible.
But this is not going to be a Twitter thing. This is going to be like streamed.
Yeah.
Nice.
You'll get Cam in your left headphone and me in your right headphone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it actually works that way. But
No. Well,
Could.
So yeah, we might do a test of that soon. Maybe tomorrow.
maybe.
Maybe.
Obviously, my personal interest lies mostly in the Lava Bears thing. That is the thing that has me most excited. Assuming it happens, of course. Internet, only you can make Lava Bears happen.
Wow, the Lava Bears would not get along with Smokey at all.
No. very, very distantly related.
Only lava bears can cause forest fires.
And many of them.
So many forest fires.
Yeah.
While I'm happy that Crap Shots got funded, so I was kind of looking forward to that stretch goal, because I want to be able to get more of, like, get some of those ideas. Because I have a tendency when we're at meetings to come up with really weird ideas for writing, which is what the video we shot today is going to involve a little bit of that. But the thing this is going to seem, okay. The thing I'm looking forward to most is knowing that the people who work full-time for Loading Ready Run, which is not me, but which is the core group of people, are actually going to be able to get paid and look after themselves and really be able to invest a lot of their time and energy into that. That's what I'm looking forward to, is knowing that for a year they're funded and they can work and they can turn out really good stuff and not have to be stumping for work or trying to, because I'm all
Rattling the tin cup.
I'm just all about financial security, right? So it's just so nice to know that, for an entire year they're going to be looked after and they can actually keep making good stuff, and that's going to take a lot of the pressure off.
And that's like, to be quite honest, let's open this door for just a second.
Sure.
That's really tough when you're trying to do art. Like,
Yeah.
I sort of wandered away from Loading Ready Run a lot a couple of years ago, and a big reason for that was I needed to
Get
live.
paid.
I needed to get paid to live.
Yeah.
And this is right after ENN had stopped, and I was like, okay, so what am I going to do? Well, I guess I better get a part-time job. Well, getting a part-time job is very difficult because people don't like to pay decent wages for part-time jobs. Like, whatever, it's part-time. You can have like a minimum wage or $1 over minimum wage. So
Right.
then you start going, well, I guess I have to get a full-time job. And then suddenly, before you know it, you don't have time to do the fun video stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Suddenly you're working and doing what you can on the weekend, but often just not having time.
And it's like, if you have regular jobs, sometimes it just like burns it right out of you. You finish a day of work and you're just like, oh, I don't have any creativity left. I just want to sleep or play video games or whatever. So I'm also pretty stoked about that.
Actually, there's a question that leads into that too. What do you all do for a living?
Beej?
I'm not the only one with a full-time job, am I?
No, I have a full-time job.
Yeah, that's right. You do. You have a pretty wicked job, actually. Right now I work for the University of Victoria, and I'm part of the client technologies department, which is awesome because for a year my job is going to be doing video conference, webcasting, and video recording support, which is actually a really neat job. And so a lot of what helped me get the job was having Desert Bus on my resume and doing the tech stuff there, because then that's followed over, and it's a lot of the stuff that we do at work. A lot of that's going to come back into Desert Bus again this year, except I'm not going to be working tech this year. I've got a different job going on for Desert Bus. But Johnny, who some of you remember from Desert Bus Feed, he works at Vancouver Island University up in Nanaimo, and he's the main tech guy, and so he and I are like doing similar things. So I'm hoping I can kind of get involved and hear what they're doing, because the tech's really exciting.
I am the head of quality assurance at a local software company called Metal Lab. So we make web-based software and also iOS apps, and we've got a lot of really cool stuff.
You make Flow.
We do. We make Flow, which
Yeah.
is a task management software that you might use because it is quite popular.
I do mostly freelance stuff. I'm trying to make that work. It's not easy, working for yourself, because it's like, you try to find jobs here and there. But I figured that it's probably a better idea for me to try and work on something that I like or am at least good at, rather than just, holding down a Joe job to keep my bills paid. So that's, it's going. We'll see how it pans out in the new year.
And I am a full-time student at the University of Victoria.
You freeloader.
Yeah, I know. Living high off government money.
Yeah, super high.
I am finishing. I'm finishing a year-long project to finish my honors degree in chemistry. So I'm working.
Do you want to give away your project?
Yeah, sure. Why not? The proposal just got in. It's been approved. It's really exciting. I'm getting all the supercomputer time that I need.
Yeah.
So I am doing computer simulations of, Here, write this down, kids.
Yeah.
Silver nanoparticles in amorphous polymer unit cells for use in organic photovoltaic arrays.
Yeah, the smart person Cam plays on Hustle is not a character.
No.
It's funny because every once in a while I'll find myself like with some sort of question like, okay, so Cam, if I have like a giant pool of magma in a dark room, how much illumination will the magma cast?
Well, IR is actually a really bad light source. So what you're looking at are we'll go into it.
Okay, I mean obviously,
it'll be dim lighting.
And if it's above ground, it's actually lava.
Yeah.
no, this is below ground. This
Oh, I
is
see.
this is in a cavern.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it also depends heavily on who your party is. The humans probably won't see terribly well.
Yeah.
But the dwarves and elves, because they have infravision, right? So also goblins and what are the other Chthonian races?
Well, like, but it depends on what edition you're playing too, right? Because
Oh, right,
infravision
yeah.
doesn't exist in
Right.
post third edition. It's gone.
Right.
Womp womp.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, obviously, question for D&D, and so these are the questions I come up with while I'm prepping games. And I'm like, maybe I should ask Cam.
Yeah, I could probably actually run the calculations on that because you're looking at like a Planck you're looking at Planck radiation, right? So the hotter it gets, the more light it throws off, but then that's going to throw the quality of light too, right? As it gets hotter, it's going to move towards white. Right? You can just I'll give you a link.
Okay, sweet.
Well,
Yeah.
Beej, how'd you
Yeah.
get your name? Is it related to the next TNG?
The next generation, the Experience Beej, where Robert O'Reilly played the. Yeah, no, it's not related to that at all. My full name is Brendan John Deary, and BJ. Okay, my brother at 2.5 years old could not say Brendan. He had a bit of a speech issue. And so I came home from the hospital and was all like, this is your new little brother, Brendan. And my brother could not say it. So my dad, helpful, said, oh, we'll just call him BJ. Because that was a thing in the 70s, BJ and the Bear. You know, that was, oh, we'll just call him BJ. It's fine. And so he called me BJ, and my brother called me BJ. And my mother was like, he has a great, wonderful, beautiful name. Call him Brendan. And 4 days later, she was calling me BJ.
Womp womp.
So then everyone else in the family started doing that, except my mother's mother, my nan. And then my father's father started calling me Beej, just by nicking it down to that. And that got stuck. And the great thing about that name is that I was BJ, and I still am BJ to my entire family. But to my friends, I'm Beej. And to my coworkers, I'm Brendan. And so I can always tell the difference about who's talking to me.
I found that out in quite an interesting way when I went into the UVic computer store when you were still working there and asked for
Yes.
Beej, and they looked like they were going to call security on me.
Well,
We don't do that here, sir.
No.
just like reaching under the table, you see like,
It's funny. Like when I was a kid, I hated when anyone outside my family called me Jer.
Oh, yeah.
But all my friends would do it, and then my friends became the people that I was doing stuff with on the internet.
Right.
Yeah.
And it sort of spread, and so now I just sign all my emails Jer. Everything is Jer. A lot of my email addresses are Jer.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, like my name is actually Alexander,
Mm.
but no one has ever called me by that. Not my parents, not coworkers. No one calls me Alexander. It's always been Alex.
I actually kind of prefer to be called Cameron.
And I would
Although
totally do that.
Well, okay.
It's never something I would ever, like, whatever, I answer to Cam. It doesn't really bother me at
Yeah,
all,
you
but I
do.
prefer the long name.
Nice.
We'll keep that in mind.
It's hard about that's the hard thing about nicknames, right? Is that you grow into them, or you accept them, or like I found out in grade 6 what BJ actually stood for in terms
Was
of
that when that was invented?
yeah, apparently when I was in grade 6. So that was awful because then my brother's friends would call me that because they're assholes. Moving on.
Speaking of awful, where did we hide the bodies?
What bodies?
How did you find out about that?
How did we all meet? And how did we hook up with Loading Ready Run? That's a good question. That's also a lot of threads to be tied together.
I can go first, I guess,
for
since
it.
mine's fairly straightforward. I went to university with Kathleen back when I was doing my English degree. So we were friends from way back in the days of yore.
That's up
And-
north, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then she moved down to Victoria, and then I eventually moved to Victoria, and she was one of the few people I knew,
Yeah.
and that's how I became involved.
Nice.
I used to be Loading Ready Run's foreign correspondent when I was in Toronto because I would do occasional video content from over there, and I would hang out and visit when I had opportunity to do so. And since I moved back like 4 years ago now, almost 3 or 4 years ago, I just started working around here. So that's me.
Ian came out. Okay, so Ian and I, for people who don't know, Ian Horner, who plays kazoo at Desert Bus and does a lot of other very cool things.
Skeletor.
Yeah, Skeletor. Ian and I have been friends for years upon years upon years since university, and he did Desert Bus 4. I saw him do it and thought that looks like a ton of fun, and I said, "Can I please come out?" And he's like, "You don't have to ask me." So I came out for Desert Bus 5. Everyone seemed to like me, which was nice because I was like, "Oh God, I don't know any of these people really well." But even a little bit before that, LRR came to Anime Evolution one year.
I remembered that.
Yeah,
that
and
was
we
a
all got to meet
sweet
each other
convention.
then.
Yeah.
And we had to like actually, and we did a thing on stage the year before that with Graham because Ian was like, we got to get, because Graham's funny, we should get him on stage. So I met Graham for the first time then met all you guys next year, and I was like, this is cool. And then came out to Desert Bus, and then Ian was saying he's threatening. I was like, I'm gonna move out to Victoria and we're gonna do cool stuff out there. And I'm like, sure, because we were in an improv troupe together, and so other members of our improv troupe moved to Vancouver and Victoria. Ian's like one of the last ones that's still in Alberta because he can't move out here yet. And so I came out here and basically found out, fall in with the guys and have some fun, and it is what it is now.
Loading Ready Run started in October of 2003, and I think the first video I was in October of 2003.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't know. I was in Loading Ready Run for a long time as a primary crew member, and have only recently, depending on your scope, drifted farther away. So.
Oh, but you're coming back now,
Well,
right?
I'm around.
Right.
Yeah.
What's your favorite childhood movies and/or TV shows?
Cosmos with Carl Sagan. That was the first thing my first childhood memory is watching Cosmos with my dad.
That's a pretty good answer.
It was and I remember the music that was playing over it, which was the Gavotte and Rondo from Bach's Partita No. 3 in E minor. So that music is also...
everything by Hayao Miyazaki, because my dad used to have a Laserdisc player back in the late 80s, early 90s, and I used to watch that stuff all the time with no subtitles, but the storytelling is so good that you can actually figure out what's going on with no dialogue. You're like, hey, I get this.
That's hardcore.
Yeah.
Well, the movies are so good.
Mm.
Like, that storytelling is like, it actually breaks through language barriers. And one of the reasons I like his stuff so much.
The Cosby Show.
We watched that in a hotel room when we were
In Calgary,
in
right?
Calgary,
Yeah.
and it was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It stands
because
up.
I've never seen the show before because it's like such a sort of like cultural, joke butt. And I was like, the Cosby Show. And we watched it. And I was like, this is actually funny and progressive
Well,
for the time.
I wanted to be a comedian when I was very young, based on Bill Cosby and I share a birthday.
Oh, okay.
And so when I found out about
Lucky.
that, and my parents, and I didn't know about that but my parents gave me some cassettes. It's like, oh, you'll probably like him because I'm like 9 years old, and they're like, this is safe. He can listen to this.
Yeah.
I have a collection now of comedy CDs because I'm like, this is what I want to do. I want to learn how comedy works, and I want to be better at doing it. And God, have I been terrible at doing comedy through learning about it. But as a result, like that would be my dream thing to do, would be to meet Bill Cosby and actually just tell him, you had a really big effect on this white kid's life.
So like, of the movies and TV shows that you two have listed, I wasn't allowed to watch any of them.
Really?
No, I was like all Knowledge Network and
Did you have a favorite of that?
well, like
3-2-1 Contact.
so 3-2-1 Contact was
MathNet?
pretty good. MathNet,
Yeah.
Square One
Square
TV
One
was
TV.
amazing.
Yeah.
I love that show. But I like sometimes I remember that my mother told me stories that she used to get me to wear my first pair of glasses when I was like 5 by offering, like, saying, well, if you wear them you can watch Winnie the Pooh in them. And I know that I was allowed to watch The Last Unicorn because I love that movie. Oh, I'm sorry.
Never
Thank
run
you.
from anything immortal. It only attracts its attention.
You know, like that movie. I want to see the new, like, because there's a new print of that out, eh? Like,
Really?
yeah, an HD one. I don't know if it's out on Blu-ray yet or if it's
Ooh.
just because they're touring the country with it. But
I would, yeah, if you find it.
and they've reinserted like all the like stuff that was cut from it too, because there was apparently a bunch of stuff cut not for like advertising reasons and things like that, so that they
Okay.
could like run ads at certain points and keep it under a certain length. So yeah, very interested in finding that.
Wow.
Next question. Which do you prefer to have a lead role in? Commodore Hustle, Friday Nights, or a Loading Ready Run sketch? Tough call. I would say a Loading Ready Run sketch gives you the most opportunity to have like a different character each time. Not that playing the same character over and over is necessarily a bad thing, but it's like you could be something different.
Yeah, I agree. I prefer to have a leading role in a Loading Ready Run sketch, mainly just because it's a chance to do something totally different.
I've really enjoyed having a set character in Hustle, though. I've
yeah.
really enjoyed being that guy.
The Beej character is pretty great.
That was just so much
Beechazoid.
fun. Yeah, well, the whole Meme Beach thing was really fun. It was like, and it made me feel really good because that everyone reacted to it so well, but also that everybody who was writing for me was like, we can give Beach something to do.
Yeah.
And that's really powerful. That like really it feels good to me because it's like, oh, everybody likes me enough that they want to keep seeing me do that same thing over and over. But yeah, other than that, then I would take a LRR sketch for the same reason you guys give.
Yeah, I think I've done like the things that I've been most proud of in Loading Ready Run have been in just LRR sketches. Though the best YouTube comments invariably come from Friday nights. So
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing?
These guys are casuals. Casuals.
Oh, tears never tasted so good.
Delicious.
Would you rather be stuck in a lift with a Welsh soup taster, a dog that has a weirdly shaped tail, or Richard Hammond? I got an answer.
Yeah.
Hammy all the way. I don't even have to think about that. That guy's adorable.
If those are literal, right? Like it's
I
not
don't
like
know if
the
that's
Welsh.
code for anything.
'cause
Did we
I'm-
just authorize an attack?
Uh-oh.
I'm wondering if the Welsh soup taster is supposed to be James May or something.
it's possible.
Maybe. I'd like to be stuck
A
in
dog
a
with
lift
a
with James
weirdly
May.
shaped
That would be
tail.
cool.
But I mean, it could also be like anyone you wanted making a Welsh accent.
That's true.
You know?
I don't like dogs.
Like the cast of Torchwood.
Oh yeah,
you know,
yeah.
tasting soup. I would do that.
Sure, exactly.
Interesting.
Oh, okay. Cam, how have you found it doing videos? You appear to have gotten more comfortable in them over time. I have. I enjoy doing them now. I always did, but now I feel more comfortable doing them now that I've done them for
You
a
are
time.
a very funny guy.
Yeah.
I hope you know that.
That's weird.
I know.
It comes across very well in the video that your dry wit.
Well,
Going back to Commodore Hustle, I think Commodore Hustle Cameron has yet to find legs, but they're developing as kind of somebody who's rather unpleasant.
I kind of feel that you gave us something that our toolkit was missing. You know, just like insofar as the sort of, you know, straight man, dry, like super dry.
This disdain
like-
and this stone wall to kind of run into.
You also bring, you know, the class to the joint. So
Oh, thank you.
So we have a last question here before we.
No.
Oh.
Wait, no.
Nope, I jumped the gun
Because there were two questions, and one of which said last question.
James,
and
you're giving us mixed signals.
Yeah.
Okay, that's clearer, and very insulting. All of you are now in charge of Loading Ready Run. In what drastically different directions do you inevitably take its various projects? You'll find out on Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, you get to find out very shortly
Yeah.
what we would do with Loading Ready Run.
Yeah, that was actually a question.
You might actually find out before this goes up.
Yeah.
No? It's going up today?
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, you will find out spectacularly on Monday.
But Jer wasn't in the video, so now what would he do?
Oh,
Pressure's
well,
on.
Okay, well, Friday nights is no longer about magic. It's
Wait, what?
about Dungeons and Dragons. And Commodore Hustle is about a QA tester who is programming or who is testing very quickly on a Commodore 64, and the developers keep on putting stuff on his plate and being like, okay, we got to ship this for authentication tonight.
So it'd be very literal, is what you're saying.
It'd be about me.
Well,
Actually, I would move Commodore Hustle over to a show about a guy who programs supercomputers with Fortran, who travels the world in the company of many beautiful women and generally lives the life of a glamorous super scientist.
It's good.
I would make that Loading Ready Run, and then Commodore
Yeah.
Hustle could be the QA thing.
All right,
pretty
yeah,
great.
yeah, we can alternate.
Yeah.
okay, but for real now, we do have a last question, and it is quite simply, what is your best memory of Loading Ready Run? Road trip.
Yeah, the road trip was excellent.
I was actually thinking of an earlier road trip that
Oh.
you weren't on, but that one was fun too. Oh,
Road trip
I've
without
hurt you
Cam
now.
is how that came
I've
across.
hurt you now. We
No, the one you were on
was terrible.
Yeah, no.
Oh, insufferable.
The one we took without you 2 weeks ago. That was amazing.
So the nine
The
of
road
us.
trip that Graham and Paul went on to Durham was pretty amazing.
Yeah. When was this? 2007. Myself, Jer.
Nope.
No, you right.
I was
you
with
were,
the Dutch
you
people
were the
having
one,
the worst summer.
Right, you were having a terrible time. Okay, so myself, Matt, James, Bill, Morgan.
How have you missed Graham and Paul?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I was stuck in the middle, like Graham, Paul,
Ben.
Ben, Adam. Yeah, that's 9. So we bought a yellow short bus and drove down to Comic-Con International, and it was fantastic and kind of a disaster as well.
You can still read on the blog if you go back to 2007, July, and relive that with us.
Wow.
It was unforgettable. That having been said, yeah, the road trip, the most recent road trip was also really, really fun.
Mm-hmm.
I like road trips. I'd like to take some more of them to weirder places.
I would say either the road trip we took this summer or the first desert bus that I was involved with, DB7, I think 2 years ago.
It's
DB4.
7's this one, so 5
Well,
would have been 2 years ago.
Why did I say 7? 5.
Everyone has Desert Bus on the brain.
Yeah.
Except for me, because it's not my problem.
Must be nice.
Yeah, actually, it's totally sweet. Yeah, no, it was just, I don't know. I took a largely spectator role with regards to it. I just kind of got to show up, experience things, and didn't have any particular responsibilities. But it was just this totally crazy event that had a tremendous amount of energy that I have a lot of fond memories with.
I don't know, like closing night of Loading Ready Live, going way back, was pretty amazing. By that point, like all of us had gelled to the point, like through rehearsal and whatnot. I think we all, sort of come closer to like how Loading Ready Run sort of operates now and has operated for the last little while. Like we actually started getting together through that for weekly meetings. Like that's where all that came from, was the Loading Ready live rehearsals. And
Oh, wow.
And by closing night, we were just on because we'd rehearsed things so many times. We just had them, and people started ad-libbing and going a little bit nuts. But that entire thing was also just insane because people actually came out to it and applauded when we did things. And I don't know, it was very affirming. I have one more recent thing, because that is reaching back a long way, and that is during the filming of Spring, we got that tandem bike. And
Really? That's a positive memory for you?
And Morgan came by that day just to say hi and hang out for the day. And he came with us to get this tandem bike. So he and I ended up riding the bike all the way up to Beacon Hill Park. And then we went all the way up that hill where we filmed that
and
section.
you almost died.
Where Graham and Paul were riding down. And he... Morgan's like, okay, well, I guess we'll ride it back. And he just immediately, with me on the back, in complete non-control of the bike, put it into high gear and started charging down the hill with me screaming on the back, being like, Morgan, no, please, brakes, But like on the back, one of those things, you've no control. You've got handlebars that don't turn, that are stuck in the back of the person in front of you. You don't have brakes, so you're just mostly along for the ride. And like, I was just horrified what would happen when we got to the bottom of this hill, because I was sure that we were going to hit traffic or get killed by something, and it was terrifying. But it also, I don't know, it was just like one of those.
It was the endorphin.
It was one of those things. I hadn't seen Morgan in a long time, and it was like one of those like moments where like I was like, okay, yeah, I'm on the back of a tandem bike with Morgan riding down this giant hill, and he's gonna kill me.
That's how it ends.
It's like, yeah, okay, that's not so bad.
Like if you know that. This is pretty representative of my life. So yeah,
We were all really worried too.
okay, I'm glad. I mean, like, yeah, I was gonna like prank call you guys pretending it was from the hospital or something like that, and Morgan
we were
and Morgan
expecting
was
that.
dead.
Yeah.
Oh God. I guess. Oh God, there's so many good things that have happened in the last few years. Desert Bus 5 is a big one for me too, because that was just showing up, walking into the room with my guitar, and having Alex see me and be just like completely blown away by the fact that I'm walking into this room. I have my guitar with me, and he's just like, cannot believe that I'm showing up. Like, oh my God, you were coming? And I'm like, did nobody tell you, for one thing? But it was one of those moments again of just like, wow, people really do want me here. And then
It is a pretty flattering experience when someone is like really genuinely happy to see you.
yeah. It completely blew me away. And to have James be like, because I'd said, James, can I kick in and help with anything along here? And he says, Beej, you just go do something and like be funny or perform, just relax, have a good time. And that's hard for me to do whenever I go to an event. I feel like I have to be involved. But it was just really nice to have everybody do that and to be like, oh, you want to play guitar? Go ahead and play guitar. You want to screw around and do this? You can. Do you want you guys to say to me, Beej, we barely know you, but you can spend the entire Desert Bus at our house. You can sleep in the same apartment as us. We don't know you that well, but we know that you're okay. And like all of those little things, all of it added up, and it was just like this amazing thing of like everybody really trusts me and likes me and wants me here. And then for Mike Lunsford to put me on the poster that year, I just was like completely blown away by that too.
Well,
because that's not something you ask for, right? That just happens.
All right. Well, that is a lot of questions, and I think we've gone past our time. So
that's because we're in control now.
that's right. We're just never going to let this you bring this podcast below
Keep it
40
alive.
miles an hour, and yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna have to wrap it up. But thank you all for joining us.
Adios.
Bye.
See you later.
Real soon.
Thanks again.